Why do some people close massive deals? I'm talking $10,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, while other people struggle to close even one high-ticket sale. If you're struggling right now in sales or struggling to close your deals at higher price points, you may have the wrong idea of selling altogether. And by the end of this video, I want to uncover for you the 5 master sales techniques so that you can close like a pro and not like amateurs. Once you master these techniques and you really understand how selling is serving and you feel it, you are going to close deals at a rapid pace, increasing your price points by 2x to even 10x what you're currently charging right now, while serving your clients at the highest level. So if you're ready to master sales, let's go. Now, maybe you have thought that selling is being pushy, or selling is being salesy, or selling may even feel a little sleazy because maybe you've had an experience with a salesperson at a store, in a car parking lot, at a timeshare presentation, and that's what it was. So we often associate selling with something terrible or doing something to someone. But that's because you have forgotten all the very positive sales experiences. So, secret number 1 is selling isn't sleazy. Sales is simply the transference of energy. Let's dive deeper. When you've had a positive sales experience, there was such a good transference of energy that you thought it was your idea. You went into the luxury shopping store, you bought that handbag, you went to that car lot, you went to that house, and suddenly the transference of energy was so strong that you felt that I have got to get this. This is the thing for me. This is the house for me. Do you remember this feeling? Or that this is the car for me? It became yours because of the transference of energy, either from the salesperson or the environment that the salesperson created. So, we have wiped out and gotten amnesia from these sales experiences because we don't remember being sold. We remember loving the experience. So let's dive deeper into how you can create this environment where the audience and the buyer and the prospect feels such a transference of energy that they believe this is what I want. This is my idea. This is 100% my next step, because there's so much ownership in their body, in their mind, and from the dopamine that you have dropped in their brain, that they're like, move out of my way, I'm making this happen. Have you ever bought something where you moved money around, you saved up, you shifted some things maybe in the investments, you went and made more sales because there was so much what's called buyer's momentum coming up from inside of you that you were driven to buy. You had to run to the table. You came to the place. You went to gave them the check, transferred, wired the money. There was so much buyer's momentum, and that is because you were being sold by a master salesman. Now, let's honor that occupation and not look down on salespeople. They did a wonderful job crafting an environment and unleashing buyer's momentum in you. So sales is not sleazy. Sales is the transference of energy. So let's dive in. How could you create a sales environment and a moment for them to that unleashes so much buyer's momentum? And it happens like this. Sales is released through stories. So the transference of energy, the stories that you're telling, is creating for them the temporary suspension of belief, the movement of their brain from the logical side of their brain over into the emotional side of their brain. And this is where sales take place. Every great brand that has sold you has created for you a beautiful story. So when you start telling more stories in your presentations, congratulations, you are going to start transferring sales energy. You're going to start releasing buyer's momentum. Doesn't that sound good? Now in this video, as I dive deeper and go especially towards the end, I'm going to give you a framework for how to tell those stories, but 100% understand sales is not sleazy. Sales is simply, my friend, the transference of energy. Let's move on to secret number 2, which is sales isn't convincing someone. Sales is giving your conviction to someone. Have you ever heard the phrase that whoever shows up inside of a conversation with most conviction wins? Think about this. Conversations you've had with friends, maybe family members, maybe your children, where someone showed up with more conviction than you. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe you haven't spent enough time thinking about that opinion or the position, or you just don't really care that much, but somebody who has the most passion, the most intensity, the most conviction as to their belief, they typically win that argument. Maybe you're thinking of some intensive discussions between your partner, your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend. Whoever's got the most conviction wins. So think about this. When you show up in your sales environment, whether that be your event, that phone call, and you've got conviction that your stuff is good. You've got conviction that your stuff works. You've got conviction that your stuff is going to change this person's life, then you will win that argument because you're coming with so much strength. So you don't need to convince anybody. Here's what you need to focus on. How much conviction, belief do I have in the transformation my offer provides? Let me know. Give me a yes down in the comments below if you've got conviction that you know your stuff is good. Now, when you show up with this conviction, here is how it sounds like in the conversation. It will typically sound like you challenging what the prospect is currently doing. Whatever they're like, whatever vehicle, whatever car they're driving right now, whatever technique, modality, method they're using right now, conviction will sound like challenging them. Like, are you sure that's the right thing for you right now? Are you sure how's that working out for you? This kind of challenging position, not in an aggressive way, in a thought-provoking way. Here's what you want them to say is, wow, I never thought about it like that. Because in your conversation, you want to be saying to them, hey, I think you're in the wrong vehicle. I think you're in the wrong car. Like, have you noticed it's a little janky, that car's not the best, the engine's not, like, have you noticed that? Like, hey, come on over into my car. It's like you're pulling up next to them in your car. Music's pumping, car is hot, you're looking good. You're like, get out of that car and get into my car. And you're showing them how much better your opportunity is, your method, your system is, and how different it is than what they're currently doing. Let me give you an example. I help people with high ticket offers, and many times I'm pulling up next to them on the highway or stoplight, and I'm saying to them, hey, how's it going for you selling low ticket products? How's that working out? How is it working out? Do you have enough money? Do you have enough profit? Do you have enough money to buy ads, team support? Like, is that going how you thought that was going to go for your business? And typically they're like, no, Eileen, I have 489 different softwares and subscriptions I need just to keep this going. It feels like an expensive hobby. That's when I say, get out of that car and come on over into high ticket offers where you can charge 2x, 5x, 10x what you're charging right now and serve your clients at the highest level. Would that be helpful? Would a cash infusion help you grow faster? So I'm challenging their position. So what you want to do in having more conviction is have more conviction. Your thing is just legit better. Like, stop that sauce, get on over here. Okay. So here's the takeaway from secret number 2, that selling isn't convincing. Selling is having conviction of your offer. All right. Secret number 3, sales isn't talking about what you're excited about. Selling is talking about what they want to buy. Okay, let me dive deeper. So many entrepreneurs are super excited about their thing. They are legit 9,000 super happy pants about like their unicorn fairy idea. And what we need to master is with the secrets of the OGs in marketing and sales, such as Gary Halbert, which is Dan Kennedy talking about mastering the conversation that is already occurring in the prospect's mind. What is that saying? You need to understand the words that your prospect is saying in their brain about what they want to buy. Here's the takeaway from this. Don't just talk about what you think they want to buy. Talk about what you know they actually want to buy. Now, how do we understand what they actually want to buy? This primarily comes down to listening. Listening to what the prospects talk about, their ideal, bright, beautiful future. They'll say things like, what would be amazing is if I could earn $1 million in this company. What would be fire sauce, like actually meeting the man of my dreams with like out going on all these weird apps. Here's what would be banana pants is if I could look in a mirror and see how toned my arms are. So this is where we want to discover the language of what they want to buy. So don't talk about what you want to talk about, what you're super excited about. Talk about what they want to buy. It's kind of like not selling people, like it's just selling them what they want. And this seems like a nuanced distinction, but I cannot tell you how many entrepreneurs that I talk to that are in their own head and they're like, Eileen, I'm talking and I'm using language, but like nobody's coming toward me to buy. And I'm like, oh, that's because you're talking about what your brain wants to talk about, not what they want to buy. Is this making sense? You have to become obsessed with what your customer and client is talking about, what they desire. I do this through something super cool that you can do called an ask campaign. I simply ask the audience if I'm in front of a group or I'm coming into an event or I'm about to do a training or I am on a phone call. And the essence of the question is like if you could wave a magic wand, what would be absolutely ideal for you here? And you'll notice a pause. You'll notice them thinking, and that's what you want. And then whatever comes out of their mouth, record it, document it, take notes. They're telling you what they want to buy. All right, secret number 4, sales happen when you focus the prospect on the remarkable result and not the rigorous road. This idea is talking about how you want to describe the payoff. You want to describe the vacation. You want to describe the bright, beautiful future and not all the pieces of the rigorous road to get to that result. So here's what you don't want to talk about. All the courses, all the modules, all the calls. Don't talk about the calls. Don't talk about all the things they need to do. Don't talk about all the tech they need to buy, or don't talk about all the PDFs and books they need to read and 4,982 hours of support calls. That's work. That's the rigorous road. Only talk about, when you talk about your offer, the remarkable result. The result, what's going to happen as a result of going through your program, your master, your event, your workshop, your intensive. What's going to show up in their life that's going to look like that vacation in the Bahamas, the crystal clear blue waters, the beautiful wind going through their hair. People buy one thing and one thing only, and that is the result. Now, you may be asking yourself the question, well, Eileen, how do I get them all the details about stuff? You do that later. You do that after they buy. You do that in like a welcoming party or an onboarding call. And you say, yeah, such good questions. We go over all that on the welcome call. You move the mind, the logical part of the mind, to delay to that's good, that we're covering all that, but later. You need to focus the frame of their mind on the emotional centers of their brain so that they stay in buyer's momentum and they make the number one most important decision that actually is going to change their life, which is buying your thing, right? Once they buy your thing, that's how their life's going to change. So you focus the frame there and do not distract them with the details. My mom voice right there. All right. Let's move on to the next secret. Secret number 5 is sales is not caring if they say no and divorcing yourself from the outcome. Your one and only job in sales is to invite. Your one and only job is to say, here's how you can go deeper. Your one and only job in sales is to serve. Why? Because your stuff's life-changing, right? So you want to make sure everyone knows they're invited to the party. But your job isn't for their yes or their no. Your job is to not care if they say no. In fact, many times people's no is just not right now. So that's the story that you want to adapt and have in your mind. That is, this person is telling me this offer is fire, but just not for me right now. And then you're like, that's cool. Have a great day. I got to go. So don't care if they say no. And many times be grateful and happy if they say no, because maybe that person might cause you or your team like a big headache. You only want people that are like, yes, right? Don't you want those kind of people? This is going to be what's going to happen to you when you implement these secrets. You're going to have people go, yes, so excited. They're just all in. You don't want someone who's hesitant or has a no. So just let them go. They'll come back another time and keep making more offers because your next yes is coming. Our last and final secret is secret number 6, which is communicating with class. What do I mean by that? Communicating with class is you just being real, being authentic, sharing stories of when you struggled or when stories of when your clients were struggling or someone you knew had this similar problem. Communicating with class means having a lot of empathy, a lot of authenticity, just being real. Don't be fake with people or posturing or trying to get that sale. Communicating with class is going to feel easy, relaxed, you just being you. People will buy from people they know, they like, and they trust. And here is something you cannot fake. You just being you in your essence energy. You can't fake that. In fact, Aristotle called this ethos. He talked about a sensation of how the audience felt in front of a speaker. And people feel it if you aren't being real or aren't being true or manufacturing or blowing up results that you haven't really had before. So just be real. Just be authentic. Say, hey, this is the first time we're going through this cohort, and that's why we're offering this massive deduction in towards the investment. Just be real, saying, hey, this is the first time we're rolling this out. You're going to actually have the special pilot privilege of being close and in the room and asking me questions. Just be authentic and just be yourself. So a quick recap is install these sales secrets. Trust me, nobody is doing this, and you can master sales by simply understanding it's all about your energy. Don't you think that you can master your energy, your state being great? If you'll do this, you are going to close more sales than you could possibly ever dream or imagine. If this message resonates with you and you're asking yourself the question, how do I go deeper? Down below this video, there's a link in the description where you can find resources that will help you grow and scale your business more quickly and while having fun. Wouldn't it be cool if you brought your business to the next level, right? Multi-6 figures, 7 figures, multi-7 figures. Where is it that you would like to go? I would love to support you along your journey. Be sure to like and subscribe for this video and check out the link down below in the description. And I can't wait to see you on the next video.